You know, I feel like a lot of people can distinctly remember the first game that they've played, or at least I've heard a lot of people who ask the question, what's the first game you've ever played? And for me, I don't think I can answer that question. I was privileged enough that I was born and raised in a family that was gaming far before my birth. It's very likely that I've been playing video games since before I can remember. I do have this feeling that the first game I ever played was Super Mario Bros. 3, but I think that's just the game that I have the earliest memory of. I'm thinking about this because even though I grew up in a big gaming family, I actually don't have a single console from my childhood, even from my teens for that matter. I moved around a little bit when I was younger, and my family members moved around and split up in different ways, and each one of them sometimes brought a console with them that meant dear to them, maybe the Commodore 64 or the TurboGrafx. I don't really know who ended up with what, but essentially when I moved away out of the state for a little bit, I lost my GameCube, my PlayStation 2, my Sega Genesis, my Super Nintendo, my PlayStation 1. Yeah. So, in many ways, that could be a lot of the reason why I'm no longer super sentimental to a lot of the video games I own, but it makes me think about something else, and that is, I don't have a physical record of all the games I've beaten. And for me, whose career I want to be full force involved with video games in some way, shape, or form, I think it's really important that we, people who care about a medium or a certain thing, like, are aware and document the things that they've completed, whether they be books or movies. Movies would be a nightmare to finish. But anyways, I've been going back and trying to make a list of every single game I know that I've beaten. I'm working on it. There's some of it, just a little bit of it. How bad do you think this wasabi pea would taste with coffee? Yes! I didn't think I was gonna get that. Anyways, let me show you something. So these are the game systems that I own currently. The Switch, of course, my PlayStation 4, an Xbox One. And then also we got the PS3, which is also essentially a PS1. Oh my god, I nearly forgot my 3DS. Like, probably one of my favorite consoles ever made. Really, the only reason why I'm showing you that is to demonstrate that I actually don't remember why it was important for me to show you the consoles that I own. Anyways, another point I want to make is that I'm pretty much have full-fledged gone completely digital when it comes to buying games, which means there's even less of a tangible way to display and show what I've beaten. So instead, I've actually been trying to, by memory, remember every single game that I've beaten, and I've made it into a list that you can look at, a list that's in the description of this and that I'll be updating as I beat games. Now, I want to make it clear that this list is not every game I've ever played. That would just be absurd, and I'm thinking about building an Excel sheet on games that I've started and haven't finished yet, or played a demo of, or some nature of that. Who knows, that might be a little ridiculous. But I think it's important that I document these things so I have a very clear, distinct grasp of knowing exactly what I've done. And this way, if somebody refers to a game, I play a lot of video games, I've beaten a lot of video games, and this way I at least have documentation of, yes, I've beaten that thing, I've done that. There's certain games that are not on that list because I'm not 100% sure if I've beaten, but I think I may have. I just need a reminder of some kind, which is weird to think about. It's like, how can I not remember? But there's definitely games I think I've beaten, but I don't know. Anyways, I've also just been getting rid of a lot more shit recently because I'm still trying to shrink my collection down and be a little bit more mindful of the things I own. This at one point in time was filled with 2 rows of cases and things stuck in between. I showed in a previous video how I actually got rid of all my cases and then switched over to putting in these things, which these things are not romantic. These things are not pretty to show your games off in. Why would you want to do that? I mean, right now they're mostly movies and all that jibber jabber. That one has games? Yeah, and this one has the games that I thought I could do without the case for, which isn't that many. I kept most of the cases to my games here, but it's so weird to look at this and think that so much of it is missing, and when you see the list, You would think that I don't really play video games. Anyway, it's bizarre. As a once avid collector, it's a funny, weird thing to wrap my head around. That said, I've just been getting rid of a lot of more stuff. It's perpetual. All this means that I'm trying to, in a different way, document what I've accomplished. That's really it. And for whatever reason, of all the cases, me and Juliana, my girlfriend, are choosing to keep, Roller Coaster Tycoon's one of them. I was about to make some sly comment about keeping this case for Jackie Chan's Stunt Master on the PlayStation 1, but I actually legitimately think I don't need it. I'm gonna show you I don't need it. That didn't hurt one bit. Does anybody need Blu-ray cases? How about this? The first person to send me a message on Twitter @Kurt_Indovina telling me a story of the first game they vividly remember beating, I will personally mail you an empty Blu-ray case. Maybe there'll be something in it. Maybe not. Who knows? You'll have to do it to find out. I apologize if this was kind of a random video, to be completely honest. I have been so busy that I was afraid I wasn't even going to be able to make a video this week. Talking about this is something I've been wanting to talk about. Or at least this is something I've been doing for the past month or so, is documenting every single game that I've beaten. I've also been trying to beat every single game that I've started, but recently I decided that that's really just not necessary. If I'm thoroughly not enjoying something, why force myself to do it? Not unless, I don't think I should finish a game unless it has some sort of historical or some legacy to be followed up with. There's a couple games that are highly regarded that I personally don't like, but I force myself to finish to properly articulate an opinion on. Anyways, I'm rambling. That's all I got this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It means so much to me just for you guys to come by, to hear me ramble and make barely any sense and eat wasabi peas and my coffee. Check out that list that I've made. Let me know if you think it's too few, or if you think I could have done better, or if there's a game on there you don't see that you're like, you need to play this game. Let me know in the comments, because I love to talk to you guys. I love to comment back. I love to read your comments. I love to comment back to them, even the ones where people make fun of me. I love it. You're all giving me your time and attention, and I just want to give that time and attention back. All right. I'm Kurt Indovina. Thank you so much for coming by. Till next time, see ya.